Television. Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television.
Hello, thanks for staying with us. This is Asset Television, and the platform is Issues of the Moment. You are all welcome. Today we are going to take critical look on some issues that have so far happened in Nigerian politics. Amongst them, we are going to look at the Supreme Court judgment of Thursday. We also look at the war on corruption. Is EFCC winning the war, or are the harbingers of corruption defeating EFCC on this? National minimum wage, to whose benefit? We will look at all these issues and examine how far the benefit could it be to Nigerians. I have here with me in the studio Emmanuel Ejike, who is going to analyze these issues with me. Emmanuel, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, yesterday Nigerians woke up to the landmark decision of the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And this decision had happened, it had been attempted long ago, but the governors thwarted it until yesterday when it all happened. Though, even as it happened, some Nigerians still have reservation as to why it should happen that way. So what's your own opinion on this?
Well, I go with the larger
Population.
A lot of Nigerians are jubilating. A lot of people are happy. And though it's generating reactions, both negative and positive. Let me start from the positive side of it. Now, before now, when the autonomy was with the local government, when they were getting their allocations direct, there was a lot of development. Staffs were not being owed, were not owed salaries then. As at when due they will be paid. And even development like construction of roads, minor roads, community roads, local governments were handling them perfectly. In most of the local governments in the states, they were handling roads, constructions, even renovation of public schools. Local governments were also handling it.
But you know, most public schools in the local government belong to the state government.
But local governments were servicing them.
Okay.
Local governments were servicing them. And even in my local governments were servicing them. Even giving contracts to some public schools where the roads were not good, they give contracts to the councillors to do culverts and maintain the roads for them.
But you know that some of the local government chairmen today in Nigeria are not elected. They were just handpicked by the state governors.
I am coming to that.
Okay, fine. Because some Nigerians are saying this local government that were handpicked, they were given food. Food was placed for them on the table. Even if the allocation comes direct to them, they will still revert to the governors.
That is part of the negative reactions that I say I'm coming back to.
Good.
But let me finish with the positive. Now, when the money comes to them direct, as at that time, they were doing well. So now that people are wise, even the electorates are wise, then if they see their money coming to them direct, they know what to expect. They plan what to do with it, and they execute the plans very well. It will boost the local government. It will encourage the workers. In a short while, people were beginning to see the local governments as ghost industries. Because the allocations were not given to them direct, salaries were not being paid, and if you go to local government, they go to work when they like. Sometimes you have an appointment with the chairman, you go there, you won't even see the chairman. They go to work office anytime they like, even the staff. If the chairman is not serious with the work, what do you expect from the other workers? You know?
That's true.
But now, as it is now, by the time they get this allocation, even with the autonomy to the local governments, he who pays the piper takes the tune. It's still for the governors. My problem is, or the question rather is, will the governors abide with the judgment and agree to work with the rule of law? Will they actually...
Of course, if you ask that question,
Yes,
this is a Supreme Court decision,
yes,
and no governor can go against that, because the court after Supreme Court is heaven.
yes.
So this is the final this thing now. So they must comply with that decision of the Supreme Court.
Of course they will comply.
Yes.
But then it's just like giving a goat to somebody and you are still holding the other end of the rope,
So which rope are you holding down?
because they are the ones. We have the chairman of the local governments now are not elected. Most of the local governments, they have not done any election. So they are caretaker committee chairmen being put there by the governors. So even if they collect this money direct from the federal allocation, they will still submit this money through the backyard to their boss.
That is what I was asking earlier.
Yes.
That's what I
So
asked
that is the
earlier.
negative side of it. It's still, the governors will still be in charge. Even if they don't collect directly from the federal government, they will still collect it from the local government.
Okay, let me give you another instance, because in Nigeria today, officially, we have 774 local governments.
Yes.
There are some states that we know created development area council,
Yes.
which is not known to the constitution of the Federal Republic
yes,
of Nigeria.
yes.
And the money that will go straight to the local government will be targeted at the 774 local government. So what happens to the development areas now?
That is
Because
it.
they will not get anything.
They will not. They will not.
Because those development areas were carved out of existing local government, and there is a chairman in that existing local government. So if you say, if government gives me that allocation, which is meant for my local government, I will not share it with the development area.
How can you share it? It's just like winning a contract and subletting it to another contractor. It's not done. You can't. There will still be a problem.
There will be a problem.
There will still be a problem. But that problem, it's going to be easy to tackle than leaving it for the state to get the allocation direct.
Oh, does that now imply that the state concerned
Yes.
will collapse back these development areas to their original format?
They have to.
Otherwise, they won't get anything.
They won't get anything.
Unless there will be a law or a decision now that, okay, fine, if this allocation comes to the original local government, then you now split it
On percentage.
on percentage to the development area. So that's what
Well,
it means.
Yeah, and there has to be an understanding and synergy. If not, it will still not work. And you know, anywhere there is money, there is crisis.
Yes.
So once the finance come, the crisis must come. And it has to be arranged and agreed by understanding. If there is good understanding between the head of the local government, which is the chairman, and the people controlling the other sub, if that understanding is not there, there will always be a problem.
I'm sure you are also aware that the federal government or the federal government or the National Assembly is tinkering with the idea of conducting local government election,
Exactly.
taking it over from
the state.
states.
Yes.
Because where a state governor is from party A, local government chairman all will belong to party
To
A.
that party.
So now, if local government election will be taken over by INEC, what of the development areas? Because INEC will not recognize those areas.
But even at that, it will still work better, because if the state governments are to conduct local government elections, they already by now that the elections are not even closed.
Yes.
The general elections are not even closed. The various governors are beginning to plant their people at the various
That's
heads,
true.
at the various
That's-
local
that's
governments,
true.
so that when the election comes, they will have less work to do. The chairman will now serve as their foot soldiers.
Don't you see that as an aberration to the rule of law?
It is. That is why we Nigerians are praying that the court should implement that order and make the INEC take the implementation
Now, do you
of
want,
the
like
constitution
this
of
INEC,
elections at the local
the issue
level.
of INEC conducting election, do you want it to go to the Supreme Court again? Because it's going to bypass the constitution.
whichever way.
Or the electoral.
Whichever way, so long as it passes through an order
That is supreme.
That is supreme, that it can be sustained and maintained.
Yep.
Then fine with all Nigerians, because we will be happy if at the local government you have councillors from PDP, for instance, you have councillors from
Yes.
APC, you have councillors from Labour Party, you have councillors from SDP, you have councillors from different political houses, you know, so that when decision time comes, you know, this will bring his opinion, you bring your opinion, you bring your opinion. Then at the end of the day, the head can look for something tangible to pick and hold on to that will work for all of us.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, because one, this local government autonomy has been something that has been, it's just something that has been sought for a very long time.
Yes.
It was thwarted. I remember right from 2019, when this issue was tabled at the National Assembly, the governors mobilized
Yes.
and killed it because it was not to their favor.
In fact,
And if well, let me tell you, if this thing had remained a decision of the National Assembly, it would not have worked up to this moment until the Attorney General of the Federation took it up. He took it up as Attorney General of the Federation, not as Minister of Justice.
yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because even if it's one office,
Yeah.
let's separate
the powers.
the powers. And he got it, and it's one of the shortest Supreme Court judgments so
Duration,
far.
the duration of the
when you
judgment, yes.
it's one of the shortest so far. So how do you look at it? Because there are so many other decisions that in that same Supreme Court that have been pending for years.
Yes. And you know, it is because of this local government autonomy that Governors Forum became strong. Governors Forum was weak.
Yes, very
But
weak.
when they decided to come together and fight the autonomy,
yes.
they became strong.
Yes.
Of course, well, it's a strong body, but this is a very good decision. At least it is happening now that we need it most. I give kudos to the Supreme Court, honestly. This is one of the best judgments so far in 10 years.
In 10 years?
Yeah, my time.
Okay. Okay. If you are still with us, we are still watching issues of the moment, and we go to another topic, and we will let you know that for quite some time now, Nigeria has been bedeviled with issues of corruption. Is EFCC winning the war against corruption? Because I remember there's an issue some time ago that MacArthur Foundation, a speaker in one of the fora said, if you don't fight corruption, corruption will fight you back.
Yes.
And as you are also fighting corruption, according to Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, then Minister of Finance, corruption is going to fight you. So now, is EFCC winning the war against corruption? And so far, from what Nigerians have been saying, EFCC is fighting a selective war. There are some people that do not touch. Then some people, they are touchable. Don't you look at it as a selective arrangement?
Yes, EFCC is really trying. They are trying their best. EFCC is trying their best, but then, if you look, to some extent, their best is not still good enough. They are approaching 100%, yes, but then, they are still within the range of 70, 80. They will go up, come down, by my judgment, by my rating, not on a general note.
Yeah.
You see, there are some people like, just like in one of the books I read, Animal Farm.
Yeah, by George Orwell.
George Orwell.
Yeah.
All animals are equal.
But some are more
equal
than the other.
Yes, there are some crimes, you know, we have corruption in every department. There is no department that is free of corruption. Of course, they cannot go around all, but at least they are taking on the major.
Okay, hold it on there. I am told we have to take a break now. We will come back with you.
Okay.
Most minutes.
Welcome to Ascent Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television. Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television. Welcome to
Welcome back. We are still on the issue of war against corruption. You were saying something.
Yes, I was saying they are trying their best, but their best is still not 100%. They are ranging between 70, 80, 70, 80. Why do I say this? There are some, there is no department free of corruption, but they are starting from the major. They will look, for instance, the governors of, past governors.
Yeah.
There are some past governors that we expect them from their performances that we know while they were in office. We expect EFCC to call them for questioning, but some of them are still moving free. They are not even invited, not even once. I cannot mention names. There are plenty. In fact, we shouldn't even look at the ones or look at them as these ones that we saw or we suspect. They should invite all past governors and ask them for scorecard before they take off on how to handle
No,
corruption.
should that be the job of ESCC? Because the governors would have worked with civil servants in their various states.
Yes.
And these are the people who know exactly where money were being pilfered from.
Yes.
So it's not the job of EFCC. If EFCC cannot operate in a vacuum, you tell them what to do, and they follow up from there
Let me
after
say-
investigation.
EFCC investigates everybody that is in government. They have their data. Everybody, especially if you are holding a post, EFCC have your data. These ones that they're running after, that they are chasing now,
Like Kogi governor,
like
former
Kogi State,
Kogi-
like former
yeah.
Kogi State governor.
Yeah.
Did anybody report him to EFCC?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. The people he offended
Yes.
petitioned the EFCC.
The petitions are everywhere. Even Benue State, there is petition, or there are petitions
Against your former governor,
against my former governor.
and he is still walking the street free.
Yes, yes. There are other states. There are petitions in almost all the states. There are petitions, but EFCC will now view it and see the one that is more serious, that carries more weight. The ones that carries more
No,
weight.
if you
in
talk about
terms-
the one that carries more weight, there are some that as little as, okay, I use the word little because now it's little.
Mm.
Before, it used to be a budget or even more than a budget of a state.
Mm,
Like 1 million, 2 million, they go after those people.
mm,
You understand? EFCC will go after somebody who there's a petition, maybe a minor cheating somewhere.
Yes, 1.5 million,
1.5
500,000,
million.
like that.
They will go after those people and they will get conviction, and the big ones are left to go free.
Now, how do you ask of a house rat when they say elephants were killed in thousands? How do you ask whether there was a black
A
house
black
rat
house rat.
somewhere? You can't. You go for the bigger ones. That's what they are doing. You don't go. You don't expect EFCC to begin to go out to scout for somebody that embezzled 2 million when somebody is embezzling 5 billions. You understand?
I bet
That is the
you see,
bulk of
not even the amount that is
they
the problem
consider
now.
the money, the work that money would have done to people. You know how many people have died because of that money? That is
Yes. Now,
legally their entitlement.
let me tell you one thing too. Because we are here in this country and we are aware too that there were some past governors that were charged for corruption, and later they pleaded after accepting guilt.
Yes,
They went for plea bargain.
yes, that we will give you.
Yes, and from their back pocket,
Mm.
they will just say, "Okay, this is your money,"
Mm.
and they go scot free.
And they go scot free. That is.
So-
I am looking for an adjective to qualify that, but that is what is happening in Nigeria. That plea bargain is not something to be encouraged. Anyway, I'm not saying they should arrest all of them, or they should detain them, or they should send them to jail. But then, it's a good thing to accept that you did this thing, it was wrong, you apologize, and you agreed to pay back. But the paying back process is not done correctly. We accept the plea bargain, yes, but then somebody who has embezzled 10 billion or 5 billion, for instance, is coming to pay 2 million naira out of it, and you say you are forgiving him. That is no payment.
I also remember some former governors too, including one of them, a serving senator now, were being sentenced and sent to Kuje. In Kuje prison, he has comfort. He was given a special room. He was asked to bring his own mattress and all those things, given special food. So it makes no difference between his house and the prison. The only difference there was that he was being confined.
Oh, he became an executive prisoner.
Executive prisoner. He served his term and he came back, and today he's a senator. Another one is also somewhere in Plateau State, enjoying himself. The other one in Taraba. They were all in Kuje prison. They are all free now. Were they asked to return the money they stole?
So
Or they just served the prison term in favor of the money?
well, I think that is what it ends up to be, because when they serve the jail term, honestly, before they jail them,
They should recover the
they
money.
should recover the money. Why do they have to go to jail? Is it not? Why do they even arrest them in the first place? Is it not to recover the money?
Yes.
So if they go to, if it's to go to jail and then go
Forget
and
that.
rest and enjoy your money, then a lot of them will be saying, after all, is it not jail term? After all, it's going to be either maybe some few months,
Yes.
or 1 year or thereabout. I'll come back and enjoy my money. You know, so that is not enough. It's not just enough. We need to recover the money, so that other people who are also in that position will begin to learn that if we do this, we might follow the footsteps of these other people like that and go to jail, which is not good. One, it will tarnish your image, you spoil your name, waste your time, and then you lost some.
One, you have become an ex-convict.
Of course, yes, you are. You have become
But in Nigeria, you know,
ex-convict.
ex-convicts are the most prominent politicians we have in the country, because one, the federal government will now say, okay, fine, depending on your connection,
Yes.
they will just give you a white paper and that's all.
And it covers.
Removing your name from, and in fact, they will even threaten you that if they hear you calling them ex-convict, they will now make you
Make case with you
and make
and
you,
threaten you
yes,
to become
you,
a convict.
Yeah, like I know of a governor that they used to call Supreme Court governor, and he warned through a televised broadcast that anybody that mentions his name or refers to him as a Supreme Court governor will have him or herself to blame.
Because he has the power.
He has the power. He's in charge. So that is one thing in Nigeria now. The bigger you are, the more problem you inflict on the populace.
Yes.
And the higher the connection you have, the more impoverished you want your people to be.
The fight on corruption is really tight. EFCC are trying their best. We give them kudos, but they should try more. It shouldn't be just the higher elites alone. It shouldn't be the fat animals in the zoo. It should also involve other people too. And then they should they should make it as transparent as possible.
Right, we are still watching Asset Television. Before we go, we want to drop another issue with you and discuss it briefly, and that is the issue of the national minimum wage. 250,000 naira proposed by organized labor. We don't know how feasible that will be, because the federal government is saying that they cannot even pay, and not even the state government, because the state government said, well, they can tally along with the federal government for 62,000 naira.
Yes.
That the federal government has agreed to offer the labor. Some states are even saying that 62,000 naira is
It's
even
still
too
much.
much. It's even too much. Some are paying 30,000 now.
Yes.
Some are not even paying. Like we used to know of Benue State that owed salary for a very long time during the period of Samuel Otom. And if they cannot pay that much at that time, can they be able to pay 250,000?
That's the question. You see, I sympathize with Nigerian workers I really sympathize with Nigerian workers, including myself. Now, the 250, I don't see it as too much. But then, when you view it from the left, you also try to view it from the right. You see it from the side of the federal government, see it from the side of the state governments too. Some state governments, their internal revenue generation is poor. Some state, take Benue State. I'm using Benue State because I'm from Benue State. Take Benue State for instance. How many industries do we have?
It's a civil service state.
It's strictly civil service state. You know, so by the time you enforce the 250,000, it will be difficult for them to cope. Now with the new governor, Reverend Father
Hassan Talia,
he's trying his best. He's trying his best. He has cleared some of the backlogs of salaries, and of course, he's now up to date. At least, even if he has not cleared all the allowances, every month now, civil servants receive their salary. On the 25th of every month, they get their monthly pay, and that is how he's also servicing pensioners' debts. You know, he's trying his best. Now, I want to sympathize with them this way because if you insist, that's I'm talking to Labour now. If they insist that it must be 250,000 that they are proposing, some of the states will begin to retrench their workers. Yeah. And that will not
even the federal government.
And that will not be to the best interest of
even the federal government will, because if you go to federal secretariat,
yes,
here in Abuja that we are, there are some people some civil servants that go there, sit down in groups, discuss. Once it's 3:30, they just sign and go home.
Yes.
They have not done anything. Some will carry files. You see them with files in their armpit, crossing from one office to the other. They will go there and start gisting.
You've not even seen the one I saw recently. I tried to do a research.
They have not really done anything. It's just because let us not allow them be on the streets.
On the streets. So they have to go to the office.
Yes.
Some of them in the mornings, they will go to vendor stand.
Yes.
And then they will go and pick paper
Papers
and read and begin to argue there.
Yeah.
They don't pay for the paper. They don't buy. They read and go. Association of Free Readers.
Yes.
They are all civil servants.
Yeah.
And because they are idle. You know. So by the time they are retrenched, it's worse. So it's better I'm sympathizing and then appealing to Labour and these other bodies. Let them see the plight of workers too, so that they don't push harder.
When you talk about this, as we are talking about this minimum wage, let's look at inflation.
Yes.
Will it not cause hyperinflation?
It will, of course, it will.
Because at this thing that the minimum wage has not been approved,
yes, the prices
prices
of everything,
they are all high.
Especially foodstuff.
They are all high.
Before now, you go and buy. My late grandmom says, how can you tell somebody there is no salt in the house? Because salt is the cheapest.
What is the cheapest?
Now,
yes.
Salt now is expensive.
Very, very.
If you go to buy pepper in the market, they will count three pieces of pepper and tell you it's 200 naira. The price of everything has skyrocketed. It's so bad. So by the time they do it, the inflation rate will also increase. So we are appealing to government to see the plight of workers. We are appealing to workers to push softly. They should soft pedal.
And be able to arrive at an accord.
Yeah, exactly. Let them soft pedal and arrive. Give government a soft landing, and government to try to see their plea. That is all I have to say for now.
Well, on that note, distinguished viewers out there, we round up this program for this morning. We hope to see you some other time. This is Asset Television. My name remains Sunday Ayami. And I have been speaking with Emmanuel Ejike on this same issue. So
thank you very
just
much.
visit us on all our social media handles, assettv.ng, and you are there watching us as always. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television. Welcome to